Fenberg, are you in the building? Does anybody know Ryan Fenberg? He needs to go to machine 14. Ryan Fenberg.
Back to the talented golfer 2. Golfer 3. Golfer 1 with a follow-up. That's right where it needs to be. Golfer 2 putting for birdie. And it's in. Golfer 3 is putting. A respectable par. Golfer 1 for birdie with this putt. Golfer 1 on tee.
Though, right?
Yeah, they are. This is just the bar's internet. It's not the actual feed. It looks like.
Okay. Now, is that if we were commenting on that, that wouldn't line up?
No, yeah.
All right, good. Now we have video here. We've got you guys with us. It looks like the first course is Grand Teton today.
I still can't hear myself.
All right, so we're going to have, there's 5 courses for qualifying today. We got the 6 courses that are live right now, and you drew one to get rid of out of the mix to do a 5-course qualifier. Unfortunately, Jamaica was the one that was pulled, and Coral's being played. So is this going to be the first live event that had Coral on it? Yes. So we're going to have the first live event with Coral. What we're going to find there is that the course par is quite a bit lower than the other courses, meaning a good round there is a 25 under, and on Jamaica.
Test. All right, we're gonna do an intro.
A good round is going to be about 29. Hello, Jade.
All right, they're gonna count us down. I'll introduce you. I'll say the mouth. You can correct. Oh, all right.
People talking, we're watching. All right. Now, Teton, we've been around for a while. Oh, wow. We just got a little bit saucy here.
Kevin Lindsay alongside the mouth.
Yep.
Not even going to try to pronounce his last name, but that's what you should know him by. We're looking at Brian Bernhardt, Seth Standiford, and Jim Klomperns qualifying on Grand Teton. So let's talk about the qualifier. 5 courses, total score, and great shot points. After 5 courses are going to give us our gold bracket that are going to be playing for that big money and the Florida Open Championship.
Correct. And then, but we got to look at the second bracket, too, because there's some big hardware on the line there, too.
Yes.
With a World's Pass being thrown in the mix here.
Yep.
So one of the second group of 32, or I'm not sure how it's going to break down with how many people we had total competitors.
There's 138 total players here at the Florida Open, so it'll be 32, 64, and then the remaining players will be in a pink bracket.
Gotcha. Okay, so good. So now we're going to be looking here. We're going to try to guess a cut line on this. I didn't get a chance to see one. I didn't have video here, but judging by scores, I can't judge off of that. It doesn't look like 1 or 2 were drivable if Clompers didn't get them. Well, let's see what Bernhardt and Standifer have.
I think 1 was there, but it's not a gimme for everybody.
Yeah, Seth didn't get 1 or 2, it doesn't look like. And if Bernhardt's going third, I'm guessing he didn't get 1 or 2 either.
Yeah, I saw a few people try it. I think it might be within chipping range.
Gotcha.
So you might see a handful of people. But the one thing we got to talk about is that Jamaica Bay is not in the rotation because Coral Ridge, our GT97 remaster course, was randomly selected. So Coral Ridge, Golden Tee 3D Golf, 20-plus years ago, no backspin button, no roll, no custom clubs, none of that. So the course you will see later this afternoon in Coral Ridge, it looks beautiful. It's going to play a lot differently than the courses you're going to see right now.
Correct.
Grand Tetons, A few of the other 2020 courses, high scoring, 29-30 under par. Coral, Brian Bernhardt and I were talking about it last night and earlier. Coral is probably going to be closer to, Bernsey almost getting the hole out there. It's going to be closer to about 26, maybe 27, depending on.
Oh, no, I'm going to say, top score, you're saying?
Well, just, what par might be.
Let's say for the majority of the field, par is going to be 25.
Okay.
It's not going to get much higher than that. The question is where one sets up, because one can set up where everyone can drive it, or one will set up where about 5 to 10 of us are driving it.
Right.
But other than that, there's something really unique about Coral. We've got the advent of balls and tees with all the courses now. And when you go back, if we look at Coral, having the balls and tees isn't making the course more scoreable. It's not making other holes drivable that we were never driving before. It makes a couple holes easier that were harder before, but didn't change the par at all, which is kind of unique, because typically if you add the ability to go 100 yards higher and 100 yards farther, you probably should shave a few strokes off your game, and it just doesn't happen there. It's an older school style course, lots of trees, a lot of cut shots. And
the trees are the biggest factor. Those palm trees, they are menacing. You can't always tell how tall they are because it blends in the background very well. So you will see a lot of strategy when it comes to Coral this afternoon.
Yep. The worst thing is, though, about it is I don't think it's going to change the cut line as much as people are thinking, compared with that, removing Jamaica for that. Because you can't – Coral – your bad rounds on Coral are 20 or 21, but that's only 3 or 4 off of par. Your bad rounds on Jamaica are also 3 or 4 off, but that 3 or 4 offs are 24s, 25s, but a 20 to 21 is still going to be sitting there around the cut line. So even though it's a lot less strokes available, it's just not going to be there's not going to be as much gap on the scores on it.
Yeah, let's talk about the cut line. What do we think with the 4 2020 courses and the remaster course? Where do you think you'll end up? After 5. What do you think will potentially be that cut line for 32, 33?
All right, so judging by the field and who's in attendance, we got a really big field. We don't have a lot of the. I think how many people have won an event for you right now? It's just me and Fox.
You and Fox, yeah.
A lot of people that are really good players, but we don't have the big 4 right now. Let's say you don't have your Haas, Denmark, Gossett, Luna. Those guys aren't
Gervais.
here.
This is
Gervais too. No JoJo, but so if we look at
Lance.
Yep, that top end of the he won. He's got to win now. So
2019 Player of the Year.
So we don't have that elite top level that we're guaranteeing are there. So I think that the cut line will be a little bit less than what we think. So I mean, if you're thinking normally, with this field, I'd look at it and say 26 per course, and you'd be set. Right, so you're sitting about 130 for this field. Now, let's say we switch out one of the 26s for 24 with Coral. So now 128, and I think my guess I put in was a 127 with 55K.
Yeah, the great shot points. I'll be interested to see how the great shot points actually affect the cut line. Normally, that it makes or breaks when in Richmond and Austin, because these courses were so new. But now I think it's much different. With that Coral in there as a factor, where the stroke, the different what I'm trying to say, the scores are really going to be the factor, less about the great shot points.
Yeah, I don't. And honestly, I think that it's going to separate enough. But we've got 138 people. Chances are there's going to be a few people tied with points that one doesn't get in and one does.
Yeah, that's true. Brian and I were talking about it last night. I feel like this is an opportunity. Obviously, a lot of people are watching you and Fox. Barack did very well in Austin. A lot of people are high on him right now. He's been playing well. He's got a home initiative. He's playing well.
I'm going to give Brock. I want to give him a little more time. I don't think he's there yet. He's close. I don't think he's there yet.
Yep.
You can see he's thinking things through, but he's still not.
This is still fresh to him.
It is still fresh to him. Yep.
The live competition is still fresh to him. But I think that top 4, there's a good chance that top 8, that top 4, for a lot of these guys, they're kind of make or break, that have been there for a while, that have qualified in these events but never broke out of that top 12 or top 16. I think this is a good chance with a I don't want to call it a weaker field, but like we said, with all these top dogs.
A more even field, let's say.
Yes, more even field is perfect.
Right. And
I'll be interested to see who those people end up being.
It's kind of cool too. Brock, apparently somebody had a lot of confidence in him, picked him up he went as a blind bid in the Calcutta.
Yes, that
So
was.
we threw some money, went down on Fox first, and the next one went to Brock Tamel. So that's kind of cool for him. The Calcutta was really weird and out of whack. He was 500, and then everybody else went.
Chris Knight was about 3.
Yeah,
it was.
There were about 6 people later on that went more than the second blind, so it was a little bit crazy. Josh, if somebody misses a putt, it's really an honor system here. I mean, if you miss somebody's putt, they get the stroke. We're never going to penalize somebody for hitting your shot.
As Steve says, if you miss somebody's putt, don't. But let us know. Yeah, you'll see a lot of these guys, even in tournament match play tomorrow. The 10-footers, 15-footers, these guys will clean up. It really shows the respect that all these players have for each other. This is the 11th Florida Open. I think this is the 5th. I was talking with Chris, the owner, Sidelines, and Steve Sobel from Power Events. I think this is the 5th one here at Sidelines, and then we were at another location than backstage. But Chris, the owner, has been with Power Events in IT for 11 years now. And,
yep.
Outside of Hefe, who was with us for 17, as the NIV in Richmond in October. Probably one of the best hosts. The space is great here. We got 24 machines, 2 in the front, and that are the location machines, and then Power Events with their 22 that they brought in their trailer. But a lot more spacious than previous years. We've got a lot of wide open space. We got production space. It's a really great time.
And guys, this is the first one ever. I was telling my wife on the phone this morning that everybody brought their wives and girlfriends. There's probably 40 or 50 women that came with these guys to play.
There's back in the day, in the Golden T4 era, there was a group of wives and girlfriends that called themselves the GT Widows.
Yep.
And honestly, they came up with the name, we didn't. But it's a fun thing to see a lot of these women, even like relatives and stuff, coming to these events because, like Mouth said, this is like a big family. And once you come to these tournaments, we don't just tell you to come and play because we want more people to get in these tournaments. Of course, we want more competition because it's fun, it's more fun, it's better for everybody. But once you get pulled into one of these events, you get sucked in. I mean, this is my 9th or 10th year at these tournaments, and I would never have done it any other way.
Plus, I need more of you guys to come so that there's a new group of people that I can annoy and pretend that they like me for a little while. So please do it.
Oh. What he means is so he can teach and help them grow because although Mouth does not
those words.
Horn,
what he said.
Yes,
Sorry, he's like Bill Shakespeare over here with all these big words and things.
Mouth will not admit it, but Mouth is a great teacher, and he pulls in a lot of these new players, has a drink with them, shows them the crazy shots he hits, and works with them. And a lot of these top guys do it. That's the thing is as this game grows and continues to grow after 30-plus years, it's
crazy.
It's
Who would have thought?
See.
I mean, who would have thought this would still be here?
I mean, you're talking about almost 20 years of like real live event tournaments.
Yep.
If you go to pegttour.com, you can see Power Events tournament schedule. Go to clubluckygroup.com. They have their big TOC in October, and then of course GoldenTee.com. We're always sharing.
GoldenTee.tv too. He has a schedule that's got a lot of even local and smaller events, handicap tournaments and
stuff.
stuff.
If you guys have tournaments or leagues or events coming up at your local spot, feel free to send it to us on social media at GoldenTee. Email Richard King. I believe it's info at GoldenTee.tv or GoldenTee.tv.
GoldenTee.tv.
But big or small, we love sharing these events, and it's fascinating. I feel like I say this every live stream. I would say about 2 years running where I've met at least 5 to 10 new people at an event, and not just people that show up at one event because it's local. They come to an event and they say, I loved it. Thank you guys for everything that you all do. And then they show up. They tell me they'll show up at the next event, and they actually do. Mm-hmm. And I feel like I've finally gotten comfortable with people being like, I watch you live stream Golden Tee all the time. Like, you've taught me a lot. And I'm like, me? I'm halfway decent, but I didn't think I was teaching people. But getting to a live tournament event or even just going to a local bar or a new location near you and playing against people that are better than you, it might hurt for a while.
Or even stalk some of us.
Well, Mouth.
Stalk some of us. I mean, you see somebody playing in Cedar Rapids. Go on the app, go off the app and look on the website.
Yep.
Find the bar that they're at. Show up. I personally want people to play with.
Exactly.
Iowa sucks. I want to have more fun, and people are fun.
You're not as young as you used to be, my friend.
Yeah, that's true.
But if you go to Facebook, there is the group Golden Tee Fan. And I say it's about 5,000, 5,500 players. But if you're going on vacation somewhere and you're not trying to get a divorce and your wife or girlfriend or husband, boyfriend, whatever, lets you go play Golden Tee,
Bring them with.
bring them with. But post on Golden Tee Fan and say, hey, I'm in Chattanooga. Who plays around there? Oh, Seth Stanford does. Or I'm in Cedar Rapids. Mouth's there. Or, Kinsler in Chicago. There's maybe a few cities I can think of on the map that it'd be tough to find a player that is not, better, or not, I don't want to say better, but just somebody that you can play Golden Tee with and have a good time.
It's something I would tell my wife all the time is we could literally pick up and drive to any state in the country right now, and I could make a phone call. We'd have a place to stay, and we'd have a great time.
Absolutely.
It's crazy, and it's 100% true. I mean, maybe I don't know many in Alaska, but I know there's a group that play up there, and I bet if I said I was coming, I bet they'd come out and play.
You know what? I can't wait. We're going to have the 10-man Alaska Open, and I'm looking forward to it.
Are you really?
No, I'm just saying that would be hilarious. I have never been to Alaska.
It would be. We could do it. We could travel. We've always talked about having a Golden Tee RV. Why don't we get a Golden Tee boat? We'll take it up the coast, man.
Or we get a Golden Tee RV that pulls our Golden Tee boat, and then the
I mean, we could just get an amphibious watercraft that goes on boat on sea and land.
There you go.
I mean, it's crazy. We could.
GTA style.
All right, let's get back to it. We're giving you guys a little laydown on what's going on here. Remember, the qualifier, you can't lose today. I mean, you can't win on the qualifier day, but you certainly can lose. When I'm looking at these scores here, nobody's knocked themselves out of the running.
Right.
Now, the course gets interesting right here on this hole. When you're looking at the hole that changes the game, it's 15 on Teton, and the rest of the way can be where you lose strokes. 15 can be interesting because you could lose multiples. I didn't see where that landed. Did he get it around? Did it come back up? It looked like he went wet, though.
Yeah, I can't tell based on his face. Usually, Brian, the one thing I would tell you, whether it's in qualifier or match play, a lot of these guys, you can tell how their mindset is based on their facial expressions. Now, again, Saturday doesn't matter as much. You still want to shoot high 20, like 25 or better.
Well, now you got to. You can't. If I shoot a 25 or worse this first round, I'm telling myself, okay, I have to shoot a clean round the next round. And now I've put myself on some pressure.
Yes, as we get farther down the line to courses 3, 4, and 5, especially 4 and 5, you will see a lot of these guys where you can tell, hey, they're on the cut line between gold bracket for the championship and purple or pink. And they're going to have to step it up.
Okay, Bernhardt didn't get wet on this.
But
He came back.
He's
Now,
be careful.
now hopefully he's recognizing that that's his cliff and not rough, because this ball's going to come out hot and it's going to get full spin on him. So he's going to make. All right, he played
smart.
He did. He noticed that it was, because there's a spot there that's rough, there's a spot there that's fringe, and then up on the cliff is cliff. Cliff is just like fairway. It plays just like it. Fairway speeds, you get the same amount of spin from it. But it's off-putting when you look at it, because I look at it and I'm like, oh, I'm on a rock. This has got to be coming off of a surface different. It's not going to be I'm not expecting it to come off like a normal shot, but it is. So you can use that to your advantage sometimes. So, but we saw the setup there on 15. It's not the best look, but the way the wind was set at that and where the pin location was, you can be pretty safe on that, get it on the green, and you might get a birdie out of it because you're leaving yourself a longer right 9 putt from across the green, but yet still safe.
Birdie is better than par, or worse, a bogey. And that's where, especially for Burnsy, he had the super spin G-wedge, so he knew he had to play it safe. Hey, one stroke off is not going to make or break his game on the first course.
Now, and Burnsy's won, too, if you watched it. In fact, in the handicap event, I don't know if it was you and I or me and Paul Leedy were up here, but he actually played Comper on the stream when we were watching that in the handicap. And, yeah, he missed one, but then holds out 3 times the rest of the way. So Bernhardt very, very likely could come out with a couple. Now, he not happy with that one. He's left it a little short. No sense of getting cute. You can get cute here, guys. There's not much risk here. I like Comper. Comper, it's probably one of the only guys in this room that plays basically my bag.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I know we talked a little bit yesterday during the Freaky Friday with some of like the 7-wood and the 9-wood. Oh.
Right. The other people are using. Most people now have dropped a 7-wood, 9-wood for an 8-wood, and then they fill in with another club in there, or they carry a lob wedge or carry 2 wedges. I don't carry a lob wedge because The way I'm looking at it, it's a recovery club. I'm not gaining a stroke with it, and if I'm at a point where I'm going to have to try to save strokes from it, I'm probably already a headway in that match with how the courses are so tight
Even
now.
with Oakwood and some of those deep bunkers?
Oakwood, the only hole that's a problem, and it can be a bad one, is if you go long on 9 over the back edge, I can't get up a lot of the times. I have to turn almost directionally, put it out in the rough, and then chip at it again. 18, yeah, but 18, everybody, if they go over that back bunker, is in a bad way, whether you have a lob wedge or not. So it's not. Otherwise, those are it. That's the only 2 holes that can really make a difference with it. We're looking at this one now. Seth hit a peach there. All right, so this hole 17 on this, it's not even so much about the distance on this. It's the fact that there's typically a really big wind. It's an up 9 green with very little fringe. If you're looking from that angle with Clomper right now, that ball, if that goes one turn into that fringe, it's wet.
Yeah, you saw it when he hit his putt. He kind of pushed it a little bit to the left, and you'd much rather have a lip out, or not a lip, but going, high side,
yes,
and have a par putt versus, like you're saying, catching that rough, if not the
right.
water.
Brian's an inch away from being 2 strokes wet, and then the chip from where this pin is at today would have been ugly as well.
Yeah.
So, it's a risk to reward type shot. Now, a lot of us don't play a low iron anymore. So you're going to a 200-yard pin with a wind of 15 miles per hour going God knows what direction, and you're having to hit a 9-wood, 7-wood, 8-wood, 6-wood, and those are so high up in the air, you're having to play. That wind is now not a 15, it's like a 20 or 25.
Now, sorry to interrupt you. I'm just taking a look. This is a nasty setup. This is a top right pin.
Okay,
but it's
this setup right here, nasty to ace. This is.
It's not.
You're looking at I look at that right now like I can't possibly miss the screen. For me, I can't. I don't even. I won't even look at it.
Seth just exactly what we were just talking about. Seth just hit it long.
Yep. No, he hit it short. He hit the front edge of the.
He hit the front edge.
Yes.
Okay, must have.
I'm hitting a totally different shot than any of them here.
What would you hit on this?
I'm not moving the club. I'm leaving the pin where it was at. Depending on when I get up there, I might tee up to the left a little more. But it's just a thumb 8.5 driver.
Ooh, Seth with a chip.
For birdie?
Yep.
Okay, that's good. And that's right there, though. That's where you didn't lose this. You didn't knock yourself out. A 20 knocks you out, probably. You're in probably a really bad way. But you got a 20. Compliments the putt. So he's at a 25. So if I shoot a 25 my first round, I definitely put pressure on myself.
Yeah.
Because I don't think if I shoot 525s, I'm making the cut. If I walk in the door and shoot a 30, I'm like, okay, good. I got some strokes to play with here now. I can lag a putt or put something in the middle of a green that I would attack normally.
Now, before I let you go, because I believe you're up on one of the qualifying machines as well, if you're a newer player, how do you balance playing your game, your own game, versus like, hey, I'm playing with the mouth or I'm playing with Bernhardt, and not follow them? Because I know I went through that. You want to follow and learn shots.
It's really
tough. But at the same time, it's like you want to learn. You come here to learn, but there's a lot of pressure in playing golf with you guys.
All right, so a perfect example. He was on machine 2. We'll get a look at him next time when I'm done on there. But Paul Dennis, newer player, the only Asian in the room. Really great guy. He runs a handicap tournament for us that we do on our home machines. He's a Stouts player, right? And I rag on anybody that plays Stouts.
Just to say, so the Stouts are a golf ball that takes away a lot of the wind, if not all of it.
It's about a half of the wind is gone. So when you lose half the wind, you also lose a little bit of distance, and it can hurt you sometimes because if you don't have an outwind of 15 pushing you, it's a 7.5. You might not be able to drive something that you could with another set of balls. But it really dumbs down the game a little bit, right? It does. It makes it a little easier. You have to have less variables to play with. So I rag on him all the time. So what he ends up doing is when we're playing before, he switches and plays like Titans like me. And he'll practice with them there. And then what he does, match play comes, or we're playing an invite together, or there's something on the line, he goes back to his Stouts and plays those. So he's learning and still has his game to play.
That's smart. That is actually really smart.
I mean, I wouldn't expect him to go I wouldn't expect him to go, oh, Mouth plays Titans. I'm going to switch to Titans right now. Now, there were some balls, like people that played Barrage, they should have switched to Titans that day because Titans are Barrage plus 10 yards and more spin. So you want that.
Right.
I mean, that was better. They're a better ball. But otherwise, I mean, you got to play your own game. Unless
All right, so we got these guys,
Yep,
Fox
I'm gonna-
and all these guys swiping in mouth. Thank you for joining us, sir. We'll cut you back in
Yep.
a little bit.
You guys might get to. You'll be seeing me here in a second. I'm on machine 2 here right
Yeah,
now.
we'll be switching in between, but definitely get some more insight from Mouth as this weekend goes on. So Fox, Cleary, and Godfrey for the next streaming group. Andy Fox, if you guys haven't heard before, is the reigning champ 2018 and 2019 for this event. All right, so we got Adam Fitzgerald joining in on some commentary with me. Yeah, these guys are getting ready to go. This is definitely an interesting playing field for Fox, obviously a top competitor. Cleary, a good competitor, but when it comes to live tournaments, you don't see him as often. And then Godfrey. So, and Godfrey is, one of those fringe players where he might shoot a 30 and he might shoot a 20.
That's Jamie.
He's a good guy, but he's like a lot of us where it's back and forth, back and forth. Now these guys checking out the trackball here on Machine 4.
Sorry, I'm taking care of some business here.
No, all good.
How you been, Kev?
Good. Just, rocking and rolling here. Interesting shot by Cleary. So in the last game with Bernhardt and Klomper and Seth, we didn't see any of them drive one.
Really?
But,
It was a straight 180 right at it.
Yeah, I feel like those guys, if I remember correctly, they missed their chips.
I got you.
But it seemed like Cleary, I wonder what golf ball he's using. It felt like he got a lot of distance on that.
Maybe a stout? Is he a stout player?
I'm actually going to take a look at that.
Yeah, we were able to. Our home machine just drove one with a straight 180 with a roll on 8.5 driver.
Yeah, Fox going around is interesting. He's got that 8.5. He's on the fringe, though. He's got a nice putt.
What are we chatting with today?
So we got people on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Mixer all
Nice,
all
nice.
popping in here.
Did you post some links to this?
Yep.
Yeah, all right. I see Sobel was trying to give you some crap on there about not posting links online,
Well,
Leave it to Steve.
yeah.
That's a good chip there by Jamie.
Yeah, it's a hell of a start for the beginning. Like Mouth and I were just talking about, it'd be interesting to see how Coral Ridge comes into play later this afternoon.
For sure.
25, 26 under is probably going to be,
Yeah,
might see a 27 if you hole out a few times, but not
I'm sure we'll see a 27 or two, but yeah.
not
yeah,
the
it's
29s and 30s that
Definitely not. So that'll bring the qualifying scores down a little bit. And having Jamaica out, I guess, maybe offset some of that, but
Mouth and I were talking about it. It's kind of hit or miss. Like Jamaica,
yeah, it can set up fairly easy. This hole here, you guys talk about this hole. I couldn't get this hole. I didn't see anybody get it on.
No,
Everybody was chipping.
It's too early in the game.
Yeah, I was
To
able to
really-
get it right on the edge, and I actually missed a chip. But of course, I missed every chip my game. I think solid 26 under.
Hey, you're not out.
No,
It's only game one.
not out of it. That's for sure. I parred 18, which made it worse. But
Yeah, we saw a couple different shots. Jim Klomper hit it. He had a long putt for eagle that he unfortunately missed.
Yeah.
Seth went short.
I hit the green twice, just came up a little short.
Okay. Yeah, and then Bernsey, he almost actually aced it. He had the best shot out of the group.
I actually thumbed a 10.5 right at it, but I just hit it a little soft. I was trying to hit it soft, I hit it a little too soft. So. Yeah, it wasn't overall not a terrible setup, though. The middle of the course played pretty straightforward. Some of these holes that Ken set up hard weren't all that difficult.
No, in terms of a setup to kick things off, really solid look.
That's
and
close.
Yeah.
Aiden's a good player.
Yeah, he's. I just don't.
He's a home
feel
edition
like
guy, right?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
feel like I don't see him enough. Like
No,
this
he
is
was
a
at
tournament.
Worlds, obviously, and
Yeah, like this is a tournament where Mouth and I were talking. Like there's a few top guys, Mouth and
Yep.
Fox being one of them, but there's a lot of like that top 25, maybe top 40 players that could potentially break in
right.
to that top 4 spot. They might not.
Yeah,
have
this
ever
is
had.
a kind of a wide open field, I guess I would call it. You know what I feel
Yep.
like? I mean, there's definitely some good players here, and Eddie G and Seth Standiford's back here playing. I mean, there's some good players here, but it's not the field that top heavy field we're used to seeing at some of these tournaments. So.
Right, which is crazy for 138
And
people.
136 people, 137, whatever it is. Yeah, to think that we don't have all them guys here, that would have been even bigger, What do you say, 27 new players, I think?
Yeah. Honestly, I feel like I've met in the last day and a half. I felt like I've met 10 new people. And
Yeah.
they're like, oh, I watch you on the Golden Tee streams. And I'm like, that's hilarious. You guys are actually trying to learn things from me. But, hey, if it works, it works. No,
you're not a complete hack.
No, not all the time. But it's fun to meet new players. And Mouth and I spent like a whole 5 minutes talking about it because once you're in, you're in. There's not very many people that go to a tournament. Like, I had such an awful time. I'm never coming back.
I don't know if I've ever heard anybody say that. No. Maybe they didn't come back. I don't know, but it's
yeah, that might be a good way of not knowing.
It's pretty tight-knit family usually. Once you're in it, everybody wants to keep coming back. So hopefully the numbers keep climbing, for these tournaments. And
yeah, I mean, honestly, we had 150 players signed up. We had a lot of people that were affected by the weather.
Yeah, I almost died on the way here.
Yeah, I heard you guys had a bad flight, but a lot of the Carolina guys had trouble getting here. I would say about 75% of them were able to make it, but it's tough. The weather is always going to affect things.
Stink is making fun of me because I turned down a bush light.
I'm surprised.
I had this strategy today. I was going to try playing reasonably sober.
That actually might work.
I've never done it before. I have no idea. I don't play Golden Tee sober. Try something new once.
Team Wisconsin, just Google it.
Yeah. I had plenty last night to make up for today, I promise.
Oh, that's good to know.
And I probably will have plenty tonight to make up for this afternoon. So.
Well, and that's what's funny is, like, there's a lot of players in this room that, when they go to their local bar or restaurant or even when they have their home edition and they have a couple of drinks, like, a lot of these players I will not challenge if they've been drinking. Mouth, Brian Bernhardt, a lot of these guys dial in their shots the more they've been drinking and hanging out, especially at a tournament.
Yeah, that's the thing. I normally do play better with some beer in me, but we'll try something. What the heck?
I feel like it's a lot of hit or miss.
Yeah. I'm always just more nervous or, rattled, like shaking a little bit without having a few
my
beers.
palms, like, not to quote Eminem, but, knees weak, arms are heavy, palms are sweaty. But seriously, like, a lot of these new players, and I mean, I've been doing this for 9, almost 10 years, and even there's times where I get nervous in some of these matches just because, you might have had a bad shot or a bad game before that you shouldn't have won, but you did. And it's a big mental game when it comes to competitive Golden Tee. Like, the Golden Tee you play at – that's a nice shot by Fox. The Golden Tee you play at home with your buddies or by yourself – completely different when you come to a tournament.
Yep. I mean, I struggle with it. Even I've been in so many of these tournaments already. I mean, I'm not a great player, but I've come to these tournaments because I love them, and I still, like, even that round there, I caught myself not cutting a couple balls that I should have just because I'm nervous to hit that shot. Like, you can't be that. You got to go up there and play your game, and it probably cost me a stroke or two. So
the one thing that's been interesting is I've never been good at playing with headphones on, but I know a lot of people do it to kind of tune out the noise and get focused.
I thought about doing it today.
You never know. You just have everyone has their own intricacies in the way they play, in the style they play, and what they do in qualifying. But until you actually get out here and play in one of these events, you won't know. Right.
Yeah, most of these guys can make the shots. The Golden Tee comes to be for me, it's a huge mental game. Like, I just find myself, like, I don't want to say getting bored, but I just lose track of my focus, and then next thing you know, I'm missing shots. So qualifying is a tricky one. For match play, it's pretty easy. Most guys can get pumped up for match play, but qualifying can be tricky. A lot of guys struggle. I mean, it happens to everybody in these things. So
believe me, we've all been there.
I mean, we're looking at Andy Fox here. I mean, he's purple bracket champion. He had a bad day. I mean, he's one of the best players in the world.
Yeah,
so.
It's actually funny. Him and
Mouth in the same tournament.
Yeah,
in Houston,
they both went 1-2 in purple and then went 1-2 in the Player of the Year.
Yep.
I think that was not last
year. It was 2 years ago.
2018 or 2019?
So whatever. 2018 Houston, I believe it would be, because it's in December. So yeah.
Yeah. So some of the people we got here on the chat, Randy says always plays with tunes. Everyone's got their own
quirks.
Yeah, that's actually the best way to describe it.
Yeah.
Now you see Fox, you're going to see this a lot. A lot of these guys either will have hand towels or they'll use their shirts because a lot of people, everybody playing their games, there's 2 qualifying groups. So you got, 6 to 8 different people that are playing Golden Tee. Everyone's got, their own, like, sweaty hands.
Sweaty hands, dry hands, oily hands.
Yeah, the oil is really will get you, especially in a weekend where these games are getting – it's so hard to find an open machine, which is a great problem to have.
Yeah, it was busy. It definitely, last night was crazy here.
Yeah, I mean, there was a full crowd, and on top of it, like, when it comes to choosing these locations, it's really hard because you can talk all you want about how, we have 100 to 200 people that'll show up at these locations, and then they'll spend, 5 digits over a 4-day weekend.
Hopefully 4 digits, not 5 digits.
But once you get here and actually experience it, I mean, you start talking to people, you start playing, you make friends. All of a sudden, you know, you're playing Golden Tee left and right, and you're buying drinks for people. You guys are having dinners together and stuff, and you know, you just make lifelong friends.
What was Mouth trying to tell us there?
I don't know. I kind of tuned him out. Something about a one better.
Something about go to his machine when he's shooting a one better or something.
Oh yeah, I think he was talking to Paul that we should switch the machine too because he's got a one better.
I got you.
Well, that's the nice thing about having multiple machines hooked up is that, you know, we could probably switch at some point over to Mouth and some of those other guys.
I didn't even know we had to. This is my first time sitting down here this weekend.
Yeah,
and he keeps asking me, but I've been busy, whatever. But I'm sure it'll be not my last time. So.
No, absolutely not.
Kind of tricky on qualifying day to do this, you know, because we're bouncing in and out of playing. You can sit your butt there all day, but.
You know, I do like to get up every once in a while. It is actually fun that I, some reason, trust so many of you to handle commentary. Now, I may or may not be running around with my headphones on.
Listening,
just in case.
Well, there's a few people that get a little out of line, but for the most part.
But it's all in good jest. It's all in good fun, and.
Yeah, we are playing a bar game at the end of the day.
At the end of the day, yep.
Ow.
Now, if you guys haven't done so already, make sure that you're going to Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube Mix. What am I missing here? YouTube, Mixer, Twitch, and then follow us at Golden Tee.
Yep. There you go.
So if you guys, a lot of you guys did this in Austin and Richmond. If you guys are watching this at your local bar or on your TV with your home edition while you're playing, if you guys are out there, you know, throw it up on social media, tag us on Twitter, or Instagram, or Facebook. You know, use the hashtag Golden Tee or GT2020. You know, but we're going to do a lot of giveaways. We still have some swag to give away. We haven't chose a winner from last night. We got some new shirts, some new real golf balls that we're giving away. So the more you guys share this content and tag your friends and follow these streams, you know, the more that we get to do and the more fun we have with it. And, you know, especially you guys in the chat.
You got any Chubby Guy t-shirts?
Chubby Guy t-shirts. No, they're too expensive.
Oh.
You know.
Like, you just can't afford a 2X?
2X, no.
That's unbelievable.
But what I do, because I like to wear a 2X sometimes, is if I don't want to pay for the
Woo!
Oh, there we go. Clear with El Presidente with the hole out.
El Presidente.
What I do is I just put on the XL and I'll dance around in it and stretch it out a little bit until it fits.
Yeah. I mean, that's all right.
It's a cheap way to do it.
They're a little short on me more than anything.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
Yeah, you are like 6'3" or something.
Or 6'5", yeah.
Are you 6'5"?
Yeah, I am.
I didn't think you really were that tall.
6'4" and
It's hard to tell when
baby.
we're sitting here next to each other.
True. I'm slouching. You look taller than I do right now. Where are we at? These guys, obviously we had that hole out there. I haven't seen any other hole outs. Andy's been close a couple times.
Yeah, Andy's racking up some shot points, which for him really isn't going to make a difference, but some of these other guys.
It can make a difference,
It's definitely going to make a difference in that 30 to 34 spot, because the top 32 are going to go into the gold bracket tomorrow for match play. Those are the guys that are going to be playing for the top dollars and that Florida Open Championship. 64 people in the purple bracket, and then the rest of that field is going to get put in pink.
The pink bracket.
Yeah, but you know what? This is outside of Evansville last year, which was a new location.
Yep.
Power events like these national tournaments have been over 100 players
the
for
pink,
like a year and a half
pink
straight.
bracket isn't just a joke anymore. You know what I mean? It started out.
Yeah, the pink bracket started like, you know, when we had 10 extra players and we didn't want to go through the brackets. You know, it started off as a fun thing, but here's the thing. You know, it is growing and growing at a great rate, and for Golden Tee, you know, for a 30-year-old brand that is doing so strong. You know, I tell you guys all the time. You guys always come up to me and try to get the latest and greatest info and get the insights. I can't tell you much because I like my job too much.
I ask all the time,
but I always can tell you that there's big announcements coming soon. So sometime in 2020, you'll hear a big announcement. I can actually tell you what it is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Another one.
Another one. Yeah,
How
it's
big?
not real big.
Yeah. Big mobile announcement in the next month.
We're going to have a big mobile announcement. We might have teased it the other day. Big mobile announcement, but also a big Golden Tee announcement. Of course, we got the World Championship qualifier that starts on Monday in events mode.
Yeah.
88 qualifying players, 88 people that are going to be on that main event stage in Las Vegas at the Orleans Hotel and Casino, June 12th through the 14th.
June 12th is my birthday.
Happy birthday.
June 12th.
Happy early birthday.
Thanks. Yeah.
Hopefully you're doing it while playing on the
On
stage.
the stage in Vegas, yeah. That might happen. We'll see.
If not, you'll be there for close to the pin.
I'm actually not going to go if I don't qualify this year. I can't. So
Maybe
I'll
we'll
qualify.
see you on your birthday then.
all right. That's good. I like the way you think.
Thank you.
I'll give it a run. I don't know if I'll do an event qualifying or I'm just maybe win this purple
Well,
bracket.
and that's the thing. So
You
with
mentioned the purple bracket. Well, winner here gets a
yes,
pass to
Mouth and I were
Worlds.
talking about that. So because we have now become, it's not just Power Events Gold Tee Tour, it is the national tour, a big partnership between Incredible Technologies and
Yep.
Power Events. Now we're giving away a World Championship spot to the purple bracket winner. So
At every tournament, huh?
at every tournament.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's definitely a big deal.
I like that you guys are doing it for the purple bracket because obviously the guys that are winning these main events are world
Yeah,
qualifiers.
they've got
they're
the
going to
money.
make their shot.
The money's in it for those guys. Purple
Yep.
pays pretty well, but the chance to be on that stage, it really changes people. And I'll tell you, as somebody who spent the last 3 years, at least last 2 at Orleans, setting up that stage, it's so different to be on the other side. And for years, everyone was like, well, now that you're part of IT, you can't qualify
Can't
for
play,
Worlds.
yeah.
And it's like, you know what? I think I enjoy it over the years better because being on this side of the table and watching you guys, it's much easier to talk smack when I'm not up
when
there.
you're not up there doing it yourself.
But honestly, the big picture is really what we're looking at IT, and it's like,
That's awesome.
I got to give a shout out to Don Pescioni, our former vice president of the amusement division, just retired at the end of 2019.
Hopefully he's enjoying his retirement.
Yeah, I'm sure he is. If he's not in Chicago, he's in Colorado somewhere. Just bought a beautiful house there. But
I think
hopefully,
he always in Alaska or Canada somewhere.
he was in Canada for a while, but Colorado, he's got a nice place out there. But Don really helped set up this team for success. Of course, Elaine Hodgson, Richard Ditton, our co-founders, and at IT, Elaine is our president, and Richard, our EV, executive vice president. But they have given us so much over the last couple of years, and they understand the power